Hello students and welcome to the new lecture session. Myself Songkho Ghosh, Assistant Professor of Automobile Engineering Department at Dr. Sudhir Chandra Shur Degree Engineering College under the JIS. Today we'll learn on modern vehicle technology. This is the 7th semester automobile engineering students syllabus. Today we will discuss a new topic that is called regenerative braking system. This is a subtopic of module number 2, which is known as suspension, brakes and safety. So students, the objective of this system is that to understand the regenerative braking systems, its working principle or its working nature, to understand the various types of regenerative braking system, its various components. The outcomes of this subject is that to able to differentiate in between the regenerative braking system and the conventional braking system, various kinds of regenerative braking system and their components, function of various components. So students, let's start the regenerative braking system. Regenerative braking system is an energy recovery mechanism that slows down a moving vehicle or object by converting its kinetic energy into a form that can be either used in immediately or stored until it needed. Regenerative braking system is a way of slowing vehicle by using the motors as brakes instead of the surplus energy of the vehicle being wasted as unwanted heat. The motor acts as generator and returns some of it to the overhead wire as electricity. The vehicle is primarily powered from the electrical energy generated from the generator, which burns gasoline. This energy is stored into a large battery and used by an electric motor that provides motive force to the wheels. The regenerative braking taking place on the vehicle is a way to obtain more efficiency instead of converting kinetic energy to thermal energy through the frictional braking. The vehicle can convert a good fraction of its kinetic energy back into charge in the battery using the same principle as an alternator. Therefore, if you drive long distance without braking, you will be powering the vehicle entirely from the gasoline. The regenerative braking system comes into its own when you are driving in the city and spending a good deal of your time braking. You will still use more fuel in the city for each mile to drive than on the highway. Though thermodynamics tell us that all inefficiency comes from the heat generation. For instance, with your brake, the brake pedal heat up and a quality of heat or energy is out lost to the outside world. Friction in the engine produces heat. In the same way, in most electric and hybrid electric vehicles on the road today, this is accomplished by operating the traction motor as a generator and providing braking torque to the wheel and recharging the traction batteries. The energy provided by the regenerative braking can then be used for the propulsion or to power vehicle accessories. So student, in this mechanism, the electric traction motor uses the vehicle's momentum to recover energy that would otherwise be lost to the brake disc as heated. This contrasts with conventional braking system where the excess kinetic energy is converted to unwanted and wasted heat due to the friction in the brake, or with dynamic brake where the energy is recovered by using the electric motor as generator, but it is immediately dissipated as heat in resistor. In addition to improving the overall efficiency of the vehicle, regeneration can significantly extend the life of the braking system as the mechanical parts will not wear out very quickly. So student, this is the basic of the regenerative braking system. Here is the picture shows the symbol of the regenerative braking system. This is the show of this brake. This is the battery. When the brakes are applied, the battery will recharge. So that is why it's known as a regenerative braking system. The next slide is history. In the year of 1908, C.J. Paulson patented a smart car with the regenerative braking system. So the first regenerative braking system was patented in the year of 1908 by C.J. Paulson. The energy regeneration brake system was developed in 1967 by American Motors Corporation, or AMC, in cooperation with the Galton Industries. The energy braking idea was later commercialized by the Japanese, and both Ford and Chevrolet licensed it from Toyota for use in their domestic built hybrid vehicles. During the late of 2000s, an electronic control unit used by BMW that engages the alternator during the braking. So students, this is the basic history of the regenerative braking system. Next is need, or the necessity of the system. The regenerative braking system delivers a number of significant advantages over a car that only has friction brake. In low speed, stop and go traffic where little de- deceleration is required, the regenerative braking system can provide the majority of the total braking force. This vastly improves fuel economy with a vehicle and further enhances the attractiveness of vehicle using regenerative braking for city driving. At a higher speed, too, regenerative braking has been shown to contribute to improve the fuel economy by as much as 20% or 33%. Consider a heavy loaded truck having very few stops on the road. It is operated near maximum engine efficiency. The 80% of the energy produced is utilized to overcome the rolling and aerodynamic road forces. The energy wasted in applying brake is about 2%. Also, its brake specific fuel consumption is 5%. Now consider a vehicle which is operated in the main city where traffic is the major problem. Here, one has to apply brake frequently. For such vehicles, the wastage of energy by application of brake is about 65 to 65%, and also it is inefficient as its brake specific fuel consumption is high. In regenerative braking system, both these problems are solved, that is storage of energy and efficient brake specific fuel consumption. So student, regenerative braking have the potential to improve the fuel economy of the vehicle. The price increases of petroleum based fuel also given rise to various research and the development effort in energy conservation. It reduces the emission of the vehicle and it improves the fuel consumption by 33%. So student, this is the need or the necessity of this system. The next slide is working principle. Law of conservation of energy states that the total energy of an isolated system cannot be changed. It is said to be conserved over time. Energy can be neither created nor destroyed, but it can change form. For instance, chemical energy can be converted to the kinetic energy in the explosion of a stick of dynamite. The most common form of regenerative brake involves using an electric motor as an electric generator. The generated electricity is fed back into the supply system, whereas in battery, electric and hybrid electric vehicle, the energy is stored chemically in the battery. So students, here the hybrid and the all electric vehicles create their own power for battery recharging through a process which is known as the regenerative braking. We have explained what regenerative braking is and how the regenerative works in general terms, but many folks are interested in the deeper nuts and bolts of electricity generation. They understand that in hybrid or all electric vehicle, the word regenerative in the term of regenerative braking means capturing the vehicle's momentum, basically that means kinetic energy, and turning it into the electricity that recharges or regenerates on board battery as the vehicle is slowing down and or stopping. It is this charged battery that in the turn powers the vehicle's electric traction motor. In all electric vehicles, this motor is the sole source of locomotive. Any permanent magnet motor can operate as either a motor or a generator. In all electric and the hybrids, they are more precisely called a motor and generator. But the technologically curious want to know more, and it is often asked how and by what mechanism or process is the electricity created. It is a good question. So before we started the explanation how the motor or generator and regenerative braking works in hybrid electricity, it is important to know the basic knowledge about the electricity is generated and how the electromagnetic functions. So soon these are the basics of this working principle. Here in the picture says that when the vehicle is accelerate, vehicle get the power from the engine, then the automatic clutch, then electric motor is generated to the differential and then the wheel. And another way is battery, inverter, electric motor and then the differential. So this is the way of the vehicle get the power during the acceleration. When when the vehicle is trying to stop or slow the vehicle, the automatic clutch is disengaged. Therefore means no power is supplied from the engine to the wheel. Then during the braking there is some friction will be generated in the wheel. That the friction will, due to the friction of generated in the wheel, heat is generated, and that is used that the help of that on that heat, electric motors using the inverter, so the inverter charge the battery. So this is the basics of this working principle. There acceleration and the recharging the battery are occurring. Next is a motor or a generator works. No matter the vehicle design, there must be a mechanical connection between the motor and generator and the drivetrain. In an all electric vehicle, there could be an individual motor or generator at each wheel, or a central motor or generator is connected to a drivetrain through a gearbox. In a hybrid, the motor and generator could be an individual component, that is driven by an accessory belt from the engine. It could be a pancake motor or generator that is bolted between the engine and transmission, or it could be multiple motor generator mounted inside the transmission. In any case, the motor or generator has to be able to propel the vehicle as well as driven by the vehicle in region mode. So in this way the motor or the generator works. Next is propelling with the motor and the generating. Hybrid and the electrics uses an electronic throttle control system. Hybrid and electric vehicles use an electronic throttle control system. When the throttle pedal is pushed, a signal is sent to the onboard computer, which further activates a relay in the controller that will send battery current through an inverter or the converter to the motor or generator, causing the vehicle to move. The harder the pedal is pushed, the more current flow under the direction of a variable resistance controller, and the faster the vehicle goes. In a hybrid vehicle, depending upon the load, battery, stage of charge, and the design of the hybrid drivetrain, a heavy throttle will also activate the internal combustion engine for more power. Conversely, lifting slightly on the throttle will decrease current flow to the motor, and the vehicle will slow down. Lifting further or completely off the throttle will cause the current to switch direction between the motor or generator from motor mode to the generator mode and begin the regenerative braking process. So this is the propelling with the motor and the generator. The next is slowing the vehicle and generating electricity. This is really what the regen mode is all about. With the electronic throttle closed, the vehicle still moving. When the electronic throttle closed, the vehicle still moving. All of its kinetic energy can be captured to both slow the vehicle and recharge its battery. So students, when the electronic throttle valve closed, the vehicle is still in moving condition. That time all the kinetic energy can be captured to both, means to slow the vehicle and to recharge its battery. As the onboard computer signals the battery to stop sending electricity and start receiving it. The motor generator simultaneously stops receiving electricity for powering the vehicle and start the sending current back to the battery for the charging. So student, here when the onboard computer signals the battery to stop sending the electricity via the controller relay, onboard computer signals the battery to stop the sending electricity and start the receiving it through the charge controller. But during that time, the motor and the generator simultaneously stop receiving electricity for powering the vehicle, receiving the electricity for powering the vehicle. In spite of this, they starts sending the current. They starts sending the current back to the battery for the charging. So this is the way of slowing the vehicle and generating the electricity. The next slide is components. The following are the parts of regenerative braking systems are alternator, inverter, converter, storage battery and the DC motor. These 5 components helps this regenerative braking system. So let's start with the alternator. AC generator or alternator operates on the same fundamental principles of electromagnetic induction as DC generators. Alternating voltage may be generated by rotating a coil in the magnetic field or by rotating a magnetic field within a stationary coil. The value of voltage generated depends on the number of turns in the coil, the strength of the field and the speed at which the coil or the magnetic field rotates. Next is inverter. An inverter is an electrical device that converts electricity derived from a DC source to AC that can be used to drive an AC appliance. DC mode power from a hybrid battery, for example, is fed to the primary winding in a transformer within the inverter housing through an electronic switch, generally a set of semiconductor transistor. The direction of the flow of current is continuously and regular broken. The electricity charge travels into the primary winding and then abruptly reverse and flow back out. The in or outflow of electricity produces AC current in the transformer's secondary winding circuit. Ultimately, this induced alternating current electricity flow into and produces power in an AC load. For example, an electric vehicle's electric traction motor. A rectifier is a similar device to an inverter, except that it does the opposite, converting AC power to DC power. Inverter is used to convert the electricity from DC power to the AC power, and the rectifier is used just opposite of inverter, where it converts the AC power to the DC power. Next is converter. Converter, more properly called a voltage converter, this electrical device changes the voltage from AC to DC of an electrical power source. There are two types of voltage converter. One is step down, another is step up. The step up means increases the voltage, and step down means decreases the voltage. The most common uses of a converter is to take relatively low voltage source and step it up to high voltage for heavy duty work in a high power consumption load, but they can also be used in reverse to reduce the voltage for a light load source. Next one is the storage battery. A lead acid battery is an electrical storage device that uses a reversible chemical reaction to store the energy. It uses a combination of lead plates or rigids and an electrolyte consisting of a dilute sulfuric acid to convert electrical energy into the potential chemical energy and back again. The electrolyte of lead acid batteries is hazardous to your health and may produce burns and other permanent damages if you come into contact with it. So students, please aware from the lead acid battery and stay safe. So safely handle this lead acid battery. Next is DC motor. A DC motor is designed to run on DC electric power. Two examples of power DC designs are Michael Faraday's homopolar motor, which is uncommon, and the ball bearing motor, which is a novelty. By far, the most common DC motor types are brushed and brushless type, which use internal and external commutation respectively to create an oscillating AC current from the DC source. So they are not purely DC machine in a strict sense. So students, we say this is the Audi electric vehicle, where this is the vehicle systems. So in this vehicle you can see this is they are used the regenerative braking system. This is the 48 volt battery, this is the alternator, this is the gear unit, and this one is the conversion of the movement into electrical energy. Now comes to the motor based regenerative braking system. Basically, in regenerative braking system, instead of wasting the kinetic energy of vehicle in the form of heat, it is converted into the electrical energy to be stored in battery and capacitor or as mechanical energy of a flywheel having large moment of inertia. In this way, the large proportion of energy of the vehicle is saved only to be used later for either accelerating the vehicle or differentiate the electrical purpose. So in this way, there are basically two types of regenerative braking system. One is motor based regenerative braking system and another is flywheel based regenerative braking system. So let's start with this motor based regenerative braking system. This type of regenerative braking system is used in electrical or hybrid electrical vehicle as it makes use of electric motors. The drive shaft of vehicle is connected to a motor. When current is supplied to motor, it starts rotating and in turn rotates the drive shaft of the vehicle. When brakes are to be applied, the driver presses the brake pedal, which cut off the current supply to the motor. Now motor is no longer providing torque to the driving shaft. Instead, the internal kinetic energy and the momentum of vehicle drives the motor. Electric motor now start acting as a generator, resisting the internal rotational motion of vehicle to slow down the vehicle beside producing the electricity. This electricity can be stored in the battery or the capacitor. So this is the way of motor based generative braking system. The next one is flywheel based regenerative braking. This regenerative braking system consists of a flywheel having a large moment of inertia, so that it requires a large torque for rotational acceleration. There is a provision of engagement and disengagement of flywheel with the drive shaft. There is a provision for engagement and disengagement of flywheel with the drive shaft. When driver need to slow down or stop the vehicle, the flywheel is engaged with the drive shaft with the help of the gears. As flywheel gets engaged, power now goes divided between the driving shaft and the flywheel. As flywheel gets engaged, power now goes divided in between the driving shaft and the flywheel. The flywheel, having a large moment of inertia, absorbs the power from the engine in the form of rotational kinetic energy and brings the vehicle to halt. And this rotational kinetic energy of flywheel can be used further the accelerating the vehicle. So this is the another type of regenerative braking system, which is known as the flywheel based regenerative braking system. This regenerative braking system, since it is a huge movement which is occurred in the flywheel, so it takes a great deal to stopping and changing its speed take a lot of effort. If an engine supplies power intermittently, the flywheel compensates for surplus or the deficit the power. So flywheel helps to smooth out the power wheel receives. So flywheel helps to smooth out the power wheel receives. The main drawback of using flywheels in moving vehicles is their heavy weight. Now comes to the advantage of the regenerative braking system, that's it is increases overall energy efficiency of a vehicle. It improves the performance, reduce the emission, reduce the engine wear. It cuts down the pollution related to electricity generation. It increases the lifespan of friction braking system, uses a smaller accessories. It less use of traditional mechanical brake leads to less wear over the time. So these are the advantages of this regenerative braking system. The disadvantages are added weight. Extra component can increase the weight. Complexity depends on control necessary for operating of regenerative braking system. Cost of components, engineering, manufacturing and installation is high. Friction brakes are still necessary. Safety, primary concern with any energy storage unit of high energy density, and added maintenance requirement dependent on the complexity of the design. These regenerators are used for recovering the kinetic energy of vehicle lost during the braking process. Other theoretical application of regenerative braking would be in a manufacturing plant that moves material from one workstation to another on a conveyor system that stops at each point. Regenerative braking is used in some of elevator and the crane hoist motors. So this is the vehicle of one. This is the Kia Soul model, which is the electric vehicle launched in 2020. This is a electric vehicle using the regenerative braking system. So students, this is the regenerative braking system. Here you can learn about its working principle, its history, its various components, and its various types, its advantage and disadvantages also. So students, this is the regenerative braking system. On the next class, we'll discuss another topic. So still then, stay at home and stay safe. Thank you. Thank you so much.